How do you choose your brand colors? Well, it's tricky because it's a massive, massive decision. There's so much personality and emotion all wrapped up in color. So it's something you really have to think about when you're developing your brand. And you really want to develop a brand color palette too. So this means that you not only have one dominant base color, but you also have two other colors, maybe three, maybe even four other colors. But first of all, let's think about colors in general and what we associate with them. There's a massive amount of psychology that goes behind colors, from your passionate red, which is the color of excitement, the color of love, the color of it commands attention, doesn't it? You see red and it really draws your eye. So it's a very strong, very bold, passionate color. Or maybe orange, very vibrant, very playful. It's got loads of vitality to it. You know, it's all full of sunshine and happiness. It's friendly, it's invigorating, it evokes great energy. Or maybe you could go for a green, which is about stability and prosperity. It's about growth and very much about health, all the natural stuff that goes into greens and our associations with greens. Or you've got something like a dark blue, which is a very tranquil colour. Blues in general are very tranquil and generally tend to be very corporate too. They're because they just ooze security and formality, and a nice dark blue is very professional, you know. And well, you could go for something like white. Apple use a lot of white. You might think it's not a colour, but it very much is a colour, and that gives you a feeling of cleanliness, simplicity, not so simple to say. Uh, and again, health, white is very clinical, but it also shows great purity too. Or on the flip side of white, you could be black. That's very powerful, very sophisticated. It's very luxurious, very modern. So you see, all of these colours evoke different emotions in us. So choosing your colour palette has got to be not so much something you do on impulse. It's got to be something that really reflects your personality as a brand. Now, if you are your brand and you are your company's only employee, like a lot of small startups, then choose wisely. Make sure that your color not only represents you and your values and how you want to be perceived, but also that it reflects your target market, because they need to see something about you that will reassure them, that will attract them, that will make them want to work with you. So think about your personality and think about how they need to perceive you to want to work with you too. Choosing your color palette is, there's oodles of choice out there, isn't there? So once you've got your main color, potentially your base color, which is the dominant color in your brand, which will reflect your brand's main traits and appeal to your target market, then you've got to put together more colors into the brand palette that you can use. And you might have one or two accent colors. And now the accent color will go really, really well with your base color. Either it will be a complementary color and they sit nicely together, or maybe it's going to be an opposite color that will really sort of make you stand out and be dynamic. So choose those according to how, again, what kind of personality you want your company to show. And then the third essential color would be your neutral color. And often this tends to be a gray or a beige or a white. It would often be a pale blue, pale pink, pale whatever. It could be a pale version of your base color. So think about, how it would be subtle, but again, complementary. If you want to have a look for some really lovely color combinations, you can always try coolers.co. I'll put a link in the comments down below so you can go and have a look at this. Or I love Pinterest. If you pull up color palettes, especially if you know that you want your main color to be blue, for example, you could put blue color palettes in and you get some beautiful, beautiful color combinations in Pinterest. Or something like colorlovers.com. I hope that helps, and I'll see you next week.